this is the color here. We could also block in here an intermediate color between the shadow and the nose here like this, right? So gonna be a slightly darker color, see that? And using, in this case, I use Venetian Red because the Venetian is cooler. So I wanted to, as we move from the one temperature to the next, there is also shift, right? From light mask to the shadow mask, there's a shift in temperature and chroma. So this color here should be less warm compared to that, right? So the Venetian will give me that, shift in temperature, right? In this case. So here also probably we want to have a slightly darker color here next to the nose, here like this, right? And you see how I tried to maintain the edge here a little bit rough. I don't want it to be super slick because that's not what happens in real life, right? If it gets, you can block in the color and then you, if it's too slick, too thin, you kind of mix it up a little bit, right? Kind of blend it a little bit right here. And you can see how we're not following an outline anymore. It's just areas of color, right? Really area of color. So now this is a little bit lighter, so I need to block in the lighter color here, right? Next to the wing of the nose, right? Here, like this. But not pure white, not necessarily pure white. I mean, I could get away with just pure white because there is some skin tone here that will be mixed with the white, right? And it's not going to be pure white. It's going to be, because if I put white that is too bright, it's going to detach itself from the rest and it's going to be incoherent, like incongruent, right? So here, this, right, the white here a little bit. And we start seeing now the face moving forward, right? Let me see, right? Because now I'm enlarged this a little bit, all right, good. I keep it large so you can see the detail, right? But it's bigger than light side what you're seeing, right? All right, so now this is too bright now. I need to subdue it. So I'm gonna get a slightly darker red. I'm gonna mix Venetian Red to the basic skin tone. So I obtained the basic skin tone, remember, with a white and a transparent red oxide. But now I'm gonna mix some Venetian Red to the basic skin tone because I want to lower its chroma and making it less pure compared to the value that I have here, the color that I have here, right? This part in here now that is so sharp needs to be fuzzy, so I'm gonna break it up, right? Break it up in this margin like this, right? Mixing it. So when you do this mixing here, it's tricky because you don't want to linger too much on that. So you have to be careful doing it just the right way with just the minimum amount of brush strokes and then leave it alone. So you want to think about in terms of replicating not the outline, but the pattern of colors and value as you see. So you're going to go back and forth between thinking realistic and thinking abstract, right? If you look at the eye, I'm looking at the eye and saying, all right, it's an eye that's got this and that. You need to know that. You need to know where the eye is as eye, because if you make the pupil, the iris, sorry, too wide to narrow to high to low, that's gonna mess up the eye. But after that, you wanna think, okay, yeah, but now how do I, what kind of shape is the sclera, right? Now this sclera here is too long, see that? It's the triangle, but this triangle is higher, see that? So I need to make it higher. So now I think in triangle, because now I kind of position the eye properly. I find more or less where the iris is, but now that I get into, I resolve that to the organic aspect, like the proportion, etc. Now I need to capture the same patterns of light and shadow, right? For example, right? Or color, right? This is too light, right? So I need to be, you'd be surprised how much black you have to put in the sclera to make it the right value, the right color, right? So one thing that is really need to keep under control is the assumption that we make about things, right? So our brains makes assumption, right? All the time. We assume that the sclera is white and we paint it white. We assume that the leg is long, we make it longer, but no. In this case, I assume I assume the sclera is white. I make it lighter than it should be, and therefore I tend not to put too much black in it. But then if I stop thinking, and what I need to do, we need to overrule our brain assumption. You probably have heard me saying this many times, right? Overrule your brain assumption. So don't assume, right? Try to have objective information about this, right? And you see, okay, what color is that? What shape is that? Is it a triangle? Is it like a equilateral triangle? Is it a shark fin? Is it a dolphin fin? When you say something other than the color, because then you don't stop thinking of the sclera and your idea of the sclera, and you look at that for what it is. So we need to trick ourselves in thinking properly very often, right? If we don't, we just assume things because it's easier to assume, right? Now this part in here, see that is going to get darker here, right? So I have now a gradual, see that, passage from this color here to this color here slightly darker, and then this from this color here to this color here slightly darker, and in between the two I put another color, which is that dark core that we have here next to the nose, and then what will make this nose gradually turn in and then out.